Hi everyone, let's make this cute little witch hat with finger puppet googly eyes, and I'll also show you can just make it with the regular googly eyes as well, or you can just do it without googly eyes, whether you want googly eyes or not, your choice. I will show you how. So you want two colors of yarn, a contrasting color and then your main color, and some finger puppet googly eyes. You want a stitch marker. So I have my googly eyes here. I have a stitch marker. If you don't have a regular stitch marker, you can use a bobby pin, another piece of yarn, anything that can mark your stitch for yourself. I'm using a size 4.0 millimeter crochet hook. And you also will need scissors and of course a yarn needle for threading in or for weaving in your yarn ends. And then I'm using this nice medium green yarn for my main color. And there goes my hat. And I'm also going to be using my white for the contrasting. So to begin, we're going to just start with a slip knot. So I'm taking my main color and I'm going to make my slip knot. Some people like to do magic circles, and that's fine. You can do that. I'm going to make this as simple as I can. I usually like to do a I-cord chain, but I'm not going to do that as well. I'm just going to start with a chain of 2 to make this more simple. So we have our slip knot on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull that yarn through that slip knot, and that's our first chain. And we're going to do that one more time. So yarn over and pull that through. So we just did 2 chains. And now we want to work 4 single crochets into that second chain from our hook. So remember, the loop on your hook does not count as a chain. This is your first chain, that's your second chain. So we're going to insert our hook into that second chain, and we're going to work 4 single crochets into that second chain. So 1 single crochet. And now this is where you may want to start adding your stitch marker to that first single crochet. If you're an advanced crocheter, you may not need your stitch marker yet. So now we want to make 3 more single crochets into that second chain from the hook. So I'm going to go ahead and insert my hook back into that same stitch and work 3 additional single crochets. So this is a total of 2. This is a total of 3. And this is a total of 4. And we're going to be working in continuous rounds, which means we're not joining at the end of each round. We're just going to continually work into a round, and that's why we're using a stitch marker. So now you should have 4 single crochets, and now what we want to do is we're going to increase into the next stitch, which means we're going to work 2 single crochets into the next stitch, and then we're going to work 1 single crochet into the next one. So go ahead and remove your stitch marker. And then you're going to remove that stitch marker, insert your hook into that stitch, and work your 2 single crochets. This is where you can work around your tail if you want to help save your weaving. So this is 1, and then I'm going to insert my hook in that same stitch and work another single crochet. So I just did 2 single crochets into that same stitch. And I'm going to replace my stitch marker, and I'm going to do it into that first single crochet I did, because I already did 2, so I'm going to go back 2 and put it into that first one that I did. And then I'm going to work a single crochet into the next stitch, just 1, and I'm working over that tail. And now I'm going to repeat that. So sometimes it's hard to see when you're starting out, but if you look at your stitch right here, you can see that V at the bottom here, and you can see right there is where you went into. So now if you just kind of go over, you can see right here's another stitch. That's where you want to insert your crochet hook to do your next stitch. So we're going to work 2 single crochets into the same stitch. We're doing an increase. So this is 1, this is 2. And now we're going to go to the next one right here and just do 1 single crochet. And that should bring you right to your first one, which is the one that you have marked. So you should have a total of 6 single crochets. And now we're going to work a single crochet into each stitch around. So just 1 single crochet. So this is where you want to move that stitch marker. So take that out. And then work your single crochet into that stitch. And then you can replace your stitch marker. And then single crochet into each one around. So this is 2. And I'm just kind of pushing it up a little. So now we can see our stitches a little bit better. This is 3. This is 4. 5, and then number 6. And I've already crocheted over my little tail here, and I'm satisfied with that because it's going to be in the top of my little hat there. So I'm just going to snip the rest off. That way it's out of our way. Okay, so now we're at the beginning and we just did our single crochet of 6 around, and now this round we're going to increase. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove that stitch marker and we're going to work 1 single crochet into this stitch, replace our stitch marker. It's a lot of moving of our stitch marker, but that's okay. And then we're going to work 2 single crochets into the next one. So this is our increase stitch. So 1 and 2, and then we're going to work 1 single crochet into the next one, and then we're going to repeat that. So we're going to do 1 single crochet into the next one, and then we're going to do 2 single crochets into the next one. So 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet into the last one. And I like to some people will do like 1 2 and then increase, 1 2 and then increase. I like to spread it out a little bit, that way it doesn't necessarily make it makes the hat more circular, or the circle, if you're doing a round or something and it's flat, it just makes it more circular to me. Okay, so now you should have a total of 8 single crochets. So what we're going to do now is single crochet around, just 1 single crochet. So remove your stitch marker. So we're working 1 single crochet into each stitch. So this is 1. You can replace your stitch marker. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this is number 8. And now we want to remove our stitch marker, of course, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to do an increase on this round. So we're going to remove that stitch marker, and we're going to single crochet into the next stitch, then replace our stitch marker, then we're going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 2. So we just single crocheted into 3 stitches, and now in this 4th one we're going to do an increase. So we're going to do 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2, and we're going to do that one more time. So we're going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to do 2 single crochets into the last one. So you should have a total of 10 single crochets. And now we're going to work a single crochet into each one around. So remove your stitch marker and just work 1 single crochet into each one around. So 1, 2, replace your stitch marker, and I will see you back after you work 1 single crochet into each stitch around. I just completed my 10th one, and now what we're going to do is increase on this round. So we're going to single crochet into the next 2 stitches. I already removed my stitch marker, so I'm going to work a single crochet into the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 2, and then I want to replace my stitch marker into that first single crochet that I did. And now we're going to work an increase into the next stitch, so that's 2 single crochets into that next one. So 1 and 2, and then we're going to work a single crochet into the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 2, and then we're going to do that one more time. So we're going to work a single crochet into the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 2, and then we're going to increase into the next one by doing 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So 1 and 2, and then we're going to work a single crochet into the last 2 stitches. 1 and 2. And you should have a total of 12 stitches. And now we're going to remove our stitch marker. Oops. My little googly eyes fell. And we want to work a single crochet into that stitch we just removed our stitch marker in. Replace our stitch marker, and then we're going to single crochet into the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we just did a total of 5 individual single crochets, and now we're going to work 2 single crochets into the next stitch. So we're increasing into this stitch, and we're going to do that one more time. So we're going to work 5 individual single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now in the last stitch we want to do our increase by working 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2, and you should have a total of 14 single crochets. And now we're going to do an increase in the next row as well. So we're going to remove our stitch marker, single crochet into the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to replace my stitch marker into that first single crochet that we did. And then I'm going to do an increase in the next stitch by working 2 single crochets. So 1, 2, and then we're going to single crochet into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to repeat that one more time. So single crochet into the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to increase by working 2 single crochets into the next one. So this is 1, this is 2, and now we're going to work a single crochet into each of the last 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. So now you should have a total of 16 stitches. And now we're going to increase on the next round. So remove your stitch marker and work a single crochet into the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to replace that stitch marker into that first single crochet that we did on this round. And now we're going to increase into that next stitch by working 2 single crochets, so 1 and 2. And then we're going to repeat that 3 more times. So we're going to work a single crochet into the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to work an increase by working 2 single crochets into the next one, 1 and 2. Repeat that pattern 2 more times, and I will see you back at the end of this round. I just completed my round, and you should have 20 stitches. This round is where we're going to attach the googly eyes, the finger puppet ones. So go ahead and remove your stitch marker. If you're not doing the finger puppet eyes and you're just doing regular googly eyes, you can just go ahead and do this round without attaching the finger puppet ones. So first, we're just going to work a single crochet into the next 7 stitches. So this is 1, 2, and then make sure and replace your stitch marker into that first stitch that you did, and continue to do your 7 single crochets. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6, and number 7. And now grab your googly eyes, and with the ring facing up and your eyes looking at you, you're going to just put it right over the top of the next stitch. And what we want to do is we're going to work the next 6 stitches over the ring by doing a single crochet over the ring and into the stitch. So just insert your hook into that ring, and then also you're going to insert it into the next stitch just like that, and you're going to work a single crochet. Just tightened my working yarn there a little. So I'm just yarning over, bringing it through that stitch and through the ring, and I'm making my single crochet. And we're doing this over 6 of them. So that was 1. Inserting my hook into that ring again. You can move the ring out of the way if you have to see the next stitch. There's my next stitch. This is 2. Inserting my hook again into that ring, moving it a little bit so I can make sure I get into that next stitch. There's 3. Inserting my hook again into that ring, moving it a little bit so I can make sure I get into that next stitch, which I just did this one, so I'm going to go into this one. So this is 4, And again, inserting it in there and going to the next stitch. So this is 5. One more, inserting it into that ring and going into the next one on the base there. So this is 6. And that's what I wanted. So I just did 6. And now what we want to do is single crochet into the last 7 stitches on the base. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then go ahead and pull up that loop on your hook, and then just look at your little googly eyes. Just kind of maneuver them a little bit if you need to, just so they look good. And there's your googly eyes attached, and we're going to be working over these, so don't worry about that. And then our next round we're going to increase. So go ahead and remove that stitch marker. And we're going to work a single crochet into the next 2. Sorry, I had the stitch marker in my mouth. And then I think I just lost it. There it is. So 1 and 2. Replace that stitch marker into the first stitch. And then increase by working 2 single crochets into the next one. 1 and 2. And then work a single crochet into the next 2. 1 and 2. And then you're going to repeat that pattern 3 more times. So then at the end of this round you'll have 24. So I will see you back at the end of this round. Okay, you should have 24 stitches now, and now we are going to use our contrasting color, which I'm going to use my white, and we're going to change colors. And to do that, we're not going to fasten off our main color. We're just going to pull up that loop real quick so we don't lose that stitch. We're going to take our crochet hook, and you see our last stitch that we did, we're going to insert that crochet hook into that top loop there and the loop that's right below it. We're just inserting our hook right there, just like that. So those 2 loops are right there. And now we're going to take our contrasting color, that little stripe that we're going to do, and I'm just going to hold it how I would normally hold my yarn, and we're going to pull that contrasting color through those 2 loops that we just inserted our crochet hook in. And now there's that green, and we can just go in the back there, and we're going to pull that main color all the way out. So now we got that main color in the back and our contrasting color. And now we're going to take that new color and we're going to work with that. We're not going to fasten off that green or your main color because we're going to be using that after we work this contrasting color. So now in the next stitch, we're going to take our stitch marker out and we're going to work a slip stitch in the back loop only. So we're going to insert our crochet hook into that back loop, yarn over, bring that yarn through the back loop and through the loop on our hook, and that's a slip stitch. And we're going to do that into each stitch around. We're just going to work a slip stitch in the back loop of every stitch. And go ahead and you can replace your stitch marker into that first one that you did. And you're just working 1 slip stitch into the back loop of every stitch around. Continue to do that and I'll meet you here at the end of this round. I've just completed slip stitching around into the back loop of each stitch around. There's 24. And now we're at our stitch marker. We're going to remove that stitch marker. And what we're going to do this round with the same contrasting color is we're going to work a single crochet into the back loop of each stitch around. So 1 single crochet into the back loop of every stitch around. So you should have 24 single crochets when you're done with this round, and you're just working into the back loop only. And then you're going to go ahead and replace your stitch marker, and I will see you guys back after you complete this round working 1 single crochet into the back loop of each stitch around. I just finished single crocheting in the back loop of each stitch around, and I just fastened off enough of a tail to weave in the white or whatever contrasting color yarn you have. And now I'm going to take my crochet hook, and I want to go ahead and put it right here underneath this loop and this one. So I'm just going to take my hook and go under this one and this one, just like we did before. So I have those 2 loops right there. And then I'm going to take that green yarn, if you look here in your hat, that main color, I'm going to pull that up, and I'm going to grab that yarn and pull it through those 2 loops just like that, because we're switching back to our main color. Once I have it underneath those 2 white bars, I'm going to take that yarn from behind that I just fastened off and just pull it through like that. And now I'm starting with my main color again, and I'm going to remove that stitch marker. And what we want to do with this round is we're going to again work 1 slip stitch in the back loop of each stitch around. So you're just going to work 1 slip stitch into each stitch around. And you can go ahead and replace your stitch marker if you want to here. I'm okay with not replacing it just because I can see where my last stitch is going to have to be done because it's white right here. But if it's easier for you, you can go ahead and put your stitch marker there. But go ahead and continue to work 1 slip stitch in the back loop of each stitch all the way around, and I'll meet you back at the end. I just completed working a slip stitch in the back loop of each stitch around, which is a total of 24. And you can go ahead and remove your stitch marker now. If you don't have your stitch marker there, that's fine. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to join with a slip stitch to the back loop of that first stitch. And now we're going to be working by joining in the last 3 rounds. So now we're going to chain 1. That's not going to count as a stitch. And what we're going to do is we're going to work in the back loops again of this round. We're going to do a half double crochet in that same joining stitch in the back loop only. So 1 half double crochet. And then in the next stitch in the back loop only, we're going to work 2 half double crochets. And we're just working in the back loop only. So 1, and this is number 2. So we're going to repeat this pattern all the way around, and we're working in the back loop. So we're working 1 half double crochet in the back loop, and then we're going to work 2 half double crochets in the back loop in the next stitch. So 1 and 2. So let's do that again together. So 1 half double crochet in the back loop, and then 2 half double crochets in the next back loop. So this is 1 and this is 2. So continue to do that pattern all the way around until you get to the end, and you should have a total of 36 half double crochets, and I will meet you guys back at the end. I just finished that round and I have a total of 36 stitches, and now what we want to do is join with a slip stitch to that first half double crochet that we did, and we're going to chain 1, and we're going to work a half double crochet into that same joining stitch, and then we're going to work a half double crochet into the next one, and then we're going to work 2 half double crochets into the next one. So now our pattern for this round is working a half double crochet into 2 stitches and then working 2 half double crochets into the next one. So we're working 1 half double crochet into this one, 1 half double crochet into this stitch, and now we're going to work 2 half double crochets into this here stitch. So this is 1 and this is 2, all into the same stitch. So again, it's 1, 1, and now we're doing 2. So you're going to continue in that pattern all the way around, and you should have a total of 48 stitches when you're done, and I'll see you guys back at the end of this round. So go ahead and continue to work 1 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet, then 2 half double crochets, and repeat that pattern around, and I'll see you guys back shortly. I just completed my last round, and now what we want to do is join with a slip stitch to that first half double crochet. And this is our last round, so we're going to work a chain of 1. In this round, we're going to insert our hook into that same joining stitch into the back loop of that joining stitch, and then also into that third loop behind the stitch, just like that. So you'll have 2 loops right there that you just inserted your hook into, plus the loop on your hook. So there's going to be a total of 3 loops. And now what we want to do is work a slip stitch. So yarn over, bring it through those 2 loops and through the loop on your hook. And now you're going to do that into each stitch all the way around. So insert your hook into the back loop of the next stitch and that third loop behind the stitch. So it's just like that. Yarn over and bring it through all the way through. So into the next back loop, insert your hook and continue inserting it to the loop that's right behind that stitch and work a slip stitch. And you're going to do that into each of those stitches all the way around. So you're just working a slip stitch into the back loop and the third loop of each stitch all the way around. Continue to do this, and I will see you guys back after you complete your last one, and I will show you how to join with an invisible join. See you guys back in just a moment. I just finished my last stitch. I'm going to go ahead and fasten off with a long enough tail, and I'm going to show you how I do an invisible join. And of course, if you're not comfortable doing an invisible join, you can just join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. So I went ahead and I fastened off. I'm going to take my crochet hook and pull it all the way up, just like that. And now I'm going to take my yarn needle and thread this tail with the yarn needle. Whoops. Just like that. And then if you're looking at your work, you can see that this here is your first stitch. This is the front loop, and this is where we did the stitch into the back loop. You're just going to insert your crochet or your yarn needle underneath that stitch from the front to the back and pull it through. And then you can see where you came out of the stitch with your yarn needle. You're going to insert your yarn needle back into that stitch, but you're going to insert it from the front to the back underneath the back loop only, just like this. And then you can't tell where you joined. And then of course you would weave in your tail however you like to do that. And I won't bore you guys and do that on camera or anything. I'm just going to go ahead and put it through here real quick just to get it out of the way. But that is it. So you'll just want to make sure to weave in all your ends. And this is your cute little witch hat. So there he is. Nice little cute witch hat with a finger puppet googly eye. And if you want, you don't have to put any eyes, or you could just use regular googly eyes. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, you guys.